Hi, I want to take a quick moment to talk about how I implement dependency injection in my Angular 2 based Ionic 2 application. Um, I'm going to start out with talking about this file here. I called it IOffSystem. I really wanted it to make it an interface and not a class, but there's some limitations with TypeScript and how it handles interfaces. So what I did is I just used an abstract class and made every member in this abstract class abstract. So that means anything that implements this IOth system is going to have to provide a concrete implementation to these members. In fact, let me look at an example. It's this fire auth systems file. It has an IOth systems, it implements IOth systems right here. That means this class, Firebase Auth System, must implement all of those members that we described over here. In fact, I'll take an example. This login response member. I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to take that login response member completely out of my implementation. And I'll notice right away I'll get an error in Visual Studio Code telling me, hey, dummy, you have to implement the login response member. And in fact, the tooling will help me. If I click on this little light bulb, I can say implement that. It says interface because I'm using implements here, but we know it's an abstract class. If I click on it, it just puts that code right back in there. And because it's just a property in this case, it would do the same thing for a member if I took get current user out, or for a method. I'll take that method get current user out. It's the same thing. It says, hey, you've got to put in get current user, and I can click that little light bulb and it'll go ahead and implement it for me. It won't do any real implementation, but it'll fulfill the obligation of that abstract class. So I'm just going to paste back in my nice little method, and I've fulfilled all the obligation of that abstract class by making sure I've implemented all the members that abstract class had required. And what that allows me to do is anytime I want to use this auth system, this whole class is meant to do some authorization using Google's Firebase platform. But when I want to use this Firebase system, instead what I'm going to do is I'll use IOffSystem. System. Let me show you what I mean. Here's a login page that uses the IOF system. Now we know this is an abstract class with no concrete implementation, but I'm going to pass it in as a constructor. This is that injection part of dependency injection. It is injecting, it is requiring a IOF system. In fact, I use IOF system a little later in my code. Right here, I use IOF system. And what it does is I get all the nice little IntelliSense. If I hit dot, I get all of those members that were part of that IOF system abstract class. And even though this implementation here knows nothing about Firebase, and really the injection part comes from this app.module.ts. I'm trying to find, right here on line 43, it's saying anytime my application is wanting to use that IOF system, instead use Firebase auth system. Inject Firebase auth system where my application is requiring or requesting IOF system. So over here in the login page, where my login page is requesting or requiring the use of IOF system, what is happening is the Firebase auth system is being injected. So when that line of code fires this login user, the actual implementation is coming from login user in my Firebase auth system. The whole point of this is so that I can trim out all of the implementation, or I can maybe have a completely different implementation of an authorization system and not use Firebase. And as long as that authorization system conforms to using these methods and members, I won't have to rewrite a lot of my application. So hopefully that helps you understand how I use dependency injection in my Ionic 2 application.